Bridgerton Season 1 is where it all began. Shondaland decided to help us escape reality with a Gossip Girl-esque romance set in the Regency era. Based on Julia Quinn's Bridgerton novels, Season 1 begins with the eldest Bridgerton daughter, Daphne, who makes her debut as an eligible maiden in London's high society. It's 1813, and right when the social season begins, London is accosted by the gossip columnist Lady Whistledown, who seems to know all that is going on, including the most scandalous incidents. But this seems to be the least of Daphne Bridgerton's worries, as she goes from being the best debutante of the season, approved by Queen Charlotte herself, to being harassed by unseemingly gentlemen like Berwick. With Anthony, her older brother, being extra protective, Daphne has a hard time finding a suitor. That is, until Anthony's rakish friend, Simon Bassett,
yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God, beautiful.
the Duke of Hastings, and Lady Danbury's prodigy, come across Daphne punching Berwick. With no interest in marriage, Simon offers Daphne a deal. He will pretend to court her so that no one tries to approach him. Meanwhile, with Daphne catching the eye of a gentleman, more suitable men may line up to woo her. Long story short, Daphne starts to feel some sort of attraction, and it doesn't help that Simon teases and flirts with her. However, he has a dark secret that doesn't allow him to marry. His cruel father kicked him out when he was a child. As revenge, he promised his dying family that the Hastings line will come to an end, as he will never have a child. His plans are ruined though when he finds himself falling for Daphne, and in a moment of weakness, they kiss. Of course, the protective Anthony catches them and gives them a choice: marry Daphne to save her reputation or duel with him. But when Daphne realises that a rival debutante, Cressida Cowper, has seen them kiss, she points out that a duel will be useless. Simon lies by omission by making her believe that he cannot have children due to a medical condition. Daphne doesn't mind, and they get married with Queen Charlotte's blessing. The marriage has a rocky start, as Daphne believes Simon doesn't love her, but that changes when he confesses that he does. They have a raunchy honeymoon phase before Daphne realises that Simon stops himself from climaxing in her so that she won't get pregnant. But otherwise, he's not impotent as he let her believe. To confirm his theory, she seduces him and doesn't set him free until the end of the act.
Only without their consent.
His worried reaction is enough proof, and she distances herself from him. They live together to keep up appearances, but Daphne is miserable. Finally, Lady Danbury tells her about Simon's vow to his horrible father. On the day of their first ball in London, Daphne goes to Simon and they patch up. At the end of Bridgerton Season 1, we see that Daphne and Simon have a child. Of course, while this is going on, we also have several subplots running parallel, which are important, especially if you're looking to dive into Season 2 and the spin-off story, Queen Charlotte. While we have the Simon and Daphne drama, there is another couple, Anthony and the opera singer Sienna. While they are having an affair, he breaks up with her to appease his mother. However, he regrets the decision, and they have an on and off relationship throughout the season. When he challenges Simon for Daphne's honour, he hopes to run off with Sienna in the aftermath. Later, when he invites her to Simon and Daphne's ball, she realises that he will never leave high society and she is not meant to be a part of it. She tells him that they should return to their separate worlds, and they part ways. Around these two couples are a number of other characters that are certainly worth exploring. The Featheringtons are a family of loud and crass individuals. However, youngest daughter happens to be the sweet and softly spoken Penelope, who's friends with Eloise Bridgerton while having a crush on Colin Bridgerton. The Featheringtons are also joined by their unwedded cousin, Mariner, who is pregnant. She reveals that the father is a Sir George Crane who is currently fighting overseas, and they love each other. With Mrs. Featherington trying to get Mariner married off, she forges a letter which claims that George is not interested in her. Mariner's prospects are all unsuitable, but Colin comes to her aid as they seem to have some history. Luck doesn't seem to be in their favour, as this happy news is quickly overshadowed by the fact that Lord Featherington has gambled away all of his fortunes. Lady Featherington and Mariner team up to trap Colin, and it works as he hopes to marry her quickly. A jealous Penelope tries to sabotage them, but Colin is undeterred. Even after she learns that George's letter was forged, Mariner doesn't care, as she is cruel to Penelope to make her back off.
Hey, madam, look at me. Stop fucking around.
Fortunately, just before Colin and Mariner can leave, Lady Whistledown reveals that Mariner is pregnant. Colin is heartbroken and distances himself, which has Mariner trying to attempt an abortion. Penelope finds and helps her, followed by Sir Philip Crane's arrival, who reveals that George is dead. George had always planned to marry Mariner, and to honour his promise, Philip proposes to her. She refuses at first, but upon learning she is still pregnant, she agrees. Meanwhile, Lord Featherington bets against Simon's boxer friend, Will Mondridge, and tells him to throw the fight so they can earn good money. Will accepts the deal, and after losing the fight, he gets his money. However, Lord Featherington is murdered by the gamblers. Now that Colin is single, Penelope tries to confess her love to him, but he reveals that he is leaving. With King George's health deteriorating, his wife, Queen Charlotte, oversees all matters of society and state. While she is praised for accurately picking the diamond of the season, Daphne, it soon goes downhill when Anthony chases away her suitors. Whistledown makes Charlotte a laughingstock by mocking her that her diamond can't even find herself a suitor. Furious, Charlotte is hell-bent on matchmaking Daphne with Prince Frederick and also exposing the identity of Lady Whistledown. Meanwhile, curious how Whistledown seems to know everything, Eloise starts her own search and seems to suspect the Tun's modiste, Genevieve. She also seems to bond with her older brother, Benedict, as they don't fit into the roles expected from them. Benedict has his own little subplot which has him sleeping with Genevieve after he runs into his artist friend, Henry, hooking up with a man. Charlotte realises that Eloise is also looking for Whistledown and they pair up, but Eloise is earnest in finding the columnist to help clear the Featheringtons' reputation after Whistledown reveals that Mariner is pregnant. At the end of the season, a frustrated Charlotte has her men corner Lady Whistledown, but with Eloise needing her to clear the Featheringtons' name, she helps Whistledown escape. She later realises that the columnist is not Genevieve, as she has left the country according to Benedict. As for the viewers, it's revealed that Penelope is Lady Whistledown. It's the last bombshell we get at the end of Bridgerton Season 1.
Nice.
Season 2 of Bridgerton switches up the focus to two completely different characters. This time, we're focusing on Anthony Bridgerton and his quest to find a bride while we are introduced to the mysterious but charming Sharmas. Bridgerton Season 2 begins with Anthony Bridgerton being introduced as the newest bachelor in the ton as he is ready to find a wife. At the same time, Lady Danbury presents her guests, Mary Sharma and her two daughters, Kate and Edwina, who is a hopeless romantic. As the older protective sister, Kate instantly dislikes Anthony, as he makes it clear that he is not interested in love. Of course, when Queen Charlotte declares Edwina to be the diamond of the season, Anthony decides to marry her. But easier said than done, since Kate does her best to keep Anthony away. It is no use though, as Edwina is smitten with him. To get Kate's approval, he invites the Sharmas to their country estate, where their bickering leads to a short truce as they bond over their role as the family's protector. But it is Daphne who notices that despite Edwina's charms, Kate and Anthony are actually falling for each other. An oblivious Edwina keeps pushing Kate to hang out with Anthony so she can let go of her dislike. But duty calls and Anthony proposes to Edwina. It's soon revealed that Mary's parents do not care for the three women and only promise to fund them should Edwina marry well. At the same time, Anthony wants to do the right thing and break off the engagement with Edwina, but Kate stops him. We then arrive at D-Day and Queen Charlotte personally organises Anthony and Edwina's wedding. However, at the altar, when Kate drops her bracelet, Anthony leaves Edwina's side to pick up the fallen jewelry. Edwina realises that Kate and Anthony have feelings for each other and she runs off. It's chaos as the two try to convince Edwina to go through the marriage, but she refuses. Now free, Kate and Anthony kiss. Later, they sleep together, but a guilty Kate runs off in the rain. Anthony chases after her, but she falls from her horse and is rendered unconscious. Anthony professes his love to her when she wakes up, but she refuses to marry as she is leaving for India. Edwina patches up with her and convinces her to attend the last ball of the season held by the Featheringtons, which also has Anthony in attendance. Everyone brushes him off, but Queen Charlotte comes to their rescue by claiming that she had the wedding cancelled. Edwina too gives her blessing and Kate and Anthony confess their love for each other.
It's about damn time.
At the end of Bridgerton Season 2, we see that Kate and Anthony are married. While this is going on, it's Eloise's turn as a debutante, but she is less than happy about it. Her appearance is marred by the return of Lady Whistledown, aka Penelope. Eloise and Queen Charlotte resume their hunt, but separately. While Charlotte has no luck, Eloise finds Whistledown's printer. She hopes to convince the columnist to let go of petty gossip and use her influence to talk about important topics like women's rights. She also befriends Theo, one of the boys at the printer shop who directs her to secret rallies. As usual, Eloise updates Penelope who tries to misdirect her. Matters get worse as Charlotte thinks Eloise is Whistledown and threatens her. To save her, Penelope publishes unchaperoned attendance at the rallies. This ruins the Bridgerton's reputation as it follows Anthony's failed wedding. But it does not deter Eloise until Penelope claims that everyone thinks she may be having an affair with Theo. Eloise parts ways with Theo, but sulks during the Featherington ball. To cheer her up, Penelope gossips about the guests, and her wording is very similar to Whistledown's. Eloise realises that Penelope is Lady Whistledown and, feeling betrayed, ends their friendship. The Featheringtons are still broke, and now it seems that they are about to turn homeless. The family's assets and home go to the next male heir, cousin Jack, who seems to have made his fortunes thanks to the mines in America. He is actually broke though, and he gets the eldest Featherington married off with a fake necklace as a dowry. He then sets his eyes on Cressida Cowper for her money, but Portia Featherington feels threatened. She lures Jack to meet her second daughter, Prudence, alone, and then has the rest of the ton catch them. Jack is engaged to Prudence to save her reputation, but he finally lets Portia know that they have no money. Later, He runs into Will, who has started a gentleman's club, but it isn't doing so well. Portia and Jack get the Tons males to invest in the mines, but Will starts finding loopholes in the Featheringtons' story. Interested in doing something with his life, Colin too gets entrapped when he sees Prudence wearing one of the counterfeit necklaces. Will tries to warn Colin, but he doesn't listen. Colin soon learns that the necklace Jack gave Cressida is a fake, and he tells Penelope and Portia. Alone, Portia and Jack decide to take the money and run off to America before the investors catch on.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, mate.
When he suggests leaving her daughters behind for a while, she realises that he doesn't care for them. She forges a document that claims the Featherington estate will go to the eldest son of any of her daughters. Meanwhile, she'll be keeping the money Jack swindled from the Tons men. She will allow him to a small sum to leave for America, but she also points out that she is a woman, so no one would believe him if he tried to expose her. Jack is in disbelief, but leaves. While all this is going on, we also have another subplot this season involving the Bridgerton brothers, Benedict and Colin. Colin returns home after his travels, but he declares that he has been sworn off women, much to Penelope's chagrin. Meanwhile, Benedict enrolls in the Royal Academy of Art, and while he is nervous, he gets in. His peers are surprised that he can paint well, and he learns that Anthony bought him a spot at the school. He confronts Anthony about it and declares that he will be dropping out. Anthony apologises and shares that he was just looking out for him, but now knows that Benedict has the talent to get in on his own. As for Colin, he learns that Mariner has given birth and is now with Philip Crane. He pays her a visit to apologise for being harsh with her, and shares that she is happy, and he too should move on with people who make him happy, like Penelope. After he exposes Jack to Penelope, she thanks him for looking out for her, and they agree that they have something special. Later, he tells some friends that he will never court Penelope, which she overhears. He later patches up with Will, and even brings more people to his club. And that just about wraps up the 2 seasons of Bridgerton. There is also Queen Charlotte, which is a spin-off story, and it's not exactly needed for jumping into season 3, but hopefully that will be everything you need to get you up to scratch. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.